And we are back with another episode of the podcast presented by Simple Math Matrix. It's your boy, Mr. aka Super Raw 357, best known as Prince Godbody, and I'm back here with
the guy, King Hoopla.
And this week we're talking about some pretty funny fucking shit.
I'd say so.
I want to kind of start this off with, remember NFTs and how those failed because they were all fake and nobody believed in them. There's no real authenticity. Yeah. Or not even that there's nothing tangible. That the fact that it's not real and like, what is there to believe beyond this?
Yeah.
Well, recently there was, because now that this has been pretty much completely terminated. I don't know if you followed it.
Yeah.
But it's been completely terminated, essentially. But there was an AI rapper signed to Columbia.
No, Capital.
Capital, rather. My bad. Capital. And this AI rapper was called saying the N-word. And it was found out that the creator of the AI and the avatar was a white dude, a black dude supplying the lyrics. But rap tried to do that thing that Asian countries like K-pop and those type of countries do, or not K-pop, those type of genres rather, do, and create virtual stars, or do a gorillas, like gorillas were virtual stars. But this wasn't like an outward expression of somebody's
culture
or artistic abilities. This was just a caricature. This AI was a complete caricature of black culture and rap music as it is right now. And Capital at this point has severed ties and has agreed to give the money that the AI was making, or they were going to give to the AI, to their creators, their black creators, marketing budgets, and blah, blah, and this, that, and the third. But I would think that the damage is done.
Yeah, I think so too. There's nothing you can come back from this. I mean, Capital, the record company can, but it was just a bad look all in all.
Well, yeah, but why was it a bad look?
Oh, because it didn't make any sense to begin with.
Why not?
Because in the day...
Streams. Everything's about streams.
Yeah, everything's about...
Streams make money.
Yeah, but an AI rapper is not going to make money.
Why not?
Because
it does in Japan, or not rappers, but...
I mean, the gorillas.
Or Korea.
Yeah, the gorillas.
Or fucking America, yeah, the gorillas.
But the gorillas is the only thing you could think of.
That's a virtual project that's really successful. But those type of endeavors, gorillas were pioneers with doing that in general.
But and it also took more money to make than they... Well, they also...
Nah.
Well, I thought it did take a lot of money to make the
It did, but probably not as much as it does to make and produce and
especially when you have a record company
fake rappers
behind it, yeah. But that fake rapper, I don't know. That just
like Damien, the guy who was behind Gorillaz, was still in a band called Blur.
Yeah.
Which was still a really popular. So he had the capital to do it. And the musical ability. It's not like he took his musical ability. The difference between
appropriating somebody's culture isn't going to work.
Yeah,
no matter how you set it up. Well, it kind of works for white artists, but
because there's never a rap. The gorillas themselves, they don't do the rap parts. It's always the MC that does it. Whether it's Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Doom has a track on Gorillaz' first album. Not the first album, but November Has Come rather. You know what I'm saying? It's not appropriation. It's an amalgamation of somebody's vision. This AI shit was just a caricature.
Yeah, and just pairing them up with an artist.
Yeah.
Because I think he has a song with Gunna or something like that. And the song.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably some label shit.
Yeah, they're just looking at the check that it brings in, not the impact that it all actually makes. And speaking of checks that come in and impacts that it actually makes, Offset is currently fighting. It doesn't even seem like he's fighting QC. It seems like that there's a problem.
I feel like publicly they split ties. But
the Migos?
Yeah.
I don't think the Migos have split
ties
I think
publicly. With QC.
I think that P being in the situation he is, being the head of QC as he is, him and Coach K, that sort of situation.
Yeah.
That he bought these guys up. So no matter what happens to you, I deserve a piece of the pie. Offset bought out of the contract. You know what I'm saying? He bought his music back, bought off of the contract. But when he tries to put out music, they try to put their name on it so they reap some benefits. Trying to know how John Cena sold his name eventually. You know what I'm saying? A kickback. And Offset saying, no, that's not cool.
Yeah.
And the other Migos, that's crazy. The other Migos aren't necessarily siding with Offset or necessarily siding with P. They're saying mutual or, indifferent. And that's enough to, like you said, say they're broken up in mutual relationship.
I mean, they haven't made any music together. And you can see by the past couple months.
But that's because Quavo and Takeoff let P put the label on it. Offset has bought out the deal. Offset doesn't have to be a Miko. He's married to Cardi B.
Yeah, that's true.
And so he comes out with this hot single. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a crazy single. Got Buried. You probably haven't even listened to it.
I haven't heard it, yeah. I wasn't going to listen to it.
Getting Buried.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So, and to a certain extent, when Offset saying he's getting blackballed, you have to believe it. Because Offset has what could presumably be one of the bigger singles of the year right now out, and you haven't heard it.
Yeah, but I wasn't going on my way to listen to it in the first place. I can say that me.
You wouldn't have to. It would be on the Apple Music homepage if it wasn't getting blackballed.
I don't think you understand the way I look at music.
I don't think you understand the way you just open your apps and how shit is pushed on you.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't, like, how many times have I come on here and I talked about how I really don't listen to the hottest single out?
It's not about listening to it. It's about seeing it. It's not about listening to it. It's about seeing it and knowing it exists.
Yeah.
You don't even know it exists. That's the thing.
Well, I knew the song came out because I remember he was promoting it.
But barely.
Yeah.
If you used to be, if Amigo was coming out with a song, there'd be enough buzz that even if the song sucked, that people would go crazy over it.
Yeah, that's true. When they're all three together.
No, even the individual albums.
Yeah, but they were
enough buzz to sell.
But they were all promoting that too.
Exactly.
They were all promoting each other.
Because QC.
Yeah.
And now that flagship is gone, he doesn't have that promotion, and so he's definitely suffering. His sales, you know what I'm saying, the notoriety and the visibility is definitely, obviously suffering. There's no way that someone who's as big of a hip-hop star as Offset, with having the Cardi B hive behind him, being married to Cardi B, is not getting these looks. It's kind of like this new Nicki single they're saying sells. It went #1, but I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, dang. Oh, yeah, they did say Nicki dropped a song, didn't she? Yeah, I wouldn't have heard it. I wouldn't.
But it
I didn't see anything.
I listened to the radio quite a bit, enough to hear the radio, and I haven't heard it yet.
I didn't see anything regarding that song.
I've heard Church Girl on the radio before I heard that.
Not even a snippet on Twitter.
Yeah.
You'll probably see a snippet on Twitter before you see, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's mainly how I see a song.
Yeah. Which, the crazy thing is that Twitter and he's seeing snippets of songs and shit like that, that these social media, that's what it should be for. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You should just be getting
That's how you
taste.
should always promote your music.
Or you should just be getting a taste of people's life in general on social media.
A snapshot.
And it shouldn't be the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? It
reality
shouldn't be a highlight of the good, shouldn't be a highlight of the bad, but it also shouldn't be the entire thing. And Benny the Butcher and Freddie Gibbs are now in a back and forth internet brawl that has gotten to the realm of comedy and out of hand. Because people's family members have been mentioned.
Well, it's already been hurt. Well, violence is already...
Alright, so you want to give the people a background on this?
Nah, I don't. Nah, I'm playing. But, so, when was this?
Like a month or two ago.
A month or two? What happened?
When Freddie got ran down on at Dinosaur
That was
Barbecue.
a month ago?
About a month or two ago. So about a month or two ago.
I'd say about a month or two ago.
Benny now has put it out there on the internet rather, through these recent Instagram clips, that it was in fact his crew that ran down on Freddie Gibbs at Dinosaur Barbecue in Buffalo, and that back and forth kind of quiet down, you know, it was little rumblings, but now it's sparked back up with internet beef. Academics jumped in, you know, calling out Freddie Gibbs' cop father.
Yeah.
So Freddie Gibbs called out the fact that Benny the Butcher's father figure, the guy who Johnny P. Caddy is named after,
Is
recently
also
became a cop in the last few years, around the age of 56, that type of
yeah.
shit. That's it, you know what I'm saying? So they've been going back and forth on petty shit. No whack shit. We've just seen jokes. Do
Yeah,
you
which
think
is
this will escalate? Hope not escalate, but do you think it'll finally go to where they attack each other formidably on wax?
well, it should have been that in the first place because these niggas are too old to be. These niggas are too old to be doing it in the first place. Like all this Twitter stuff, like that's some shit that you would see like niggas like niggas like Young
Children.
Boy, Dirk, and all of them do and shit like that, and they don't even do it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they built their careers off. And you got two MCs who are extremely good at what they do.
Yeah.
Extremely good at what they do. Showing that they're good on each other's tracks, showing that they can hold single albums together, single projects. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it should not have to go down to the fact that they're throwing shots about whose girl is on OnlyFans or whose hairline is far back and this, that, and the third. When they could easily make some good ass, whose feet work. They could easily make a good ass diss track at each other. And they both would do numbers.
But would you rather see a diss track or them reconcile and make more music together?
I'd rather see a diss track than reconciling.
Why?
Because that's how you make money.
But you, as a fan of both of these guys,
And as a fan, that's how you build hype.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's how you
So,
build hype.
do you think that?
You can play it off.
But do you think that this is a ploy? I don't think this is a ploy.
No, it's not a ploy.
I don't
It
think
would
this
have
will
been
get physical again.
No, I don't think I don't feel like they be in the same vicinity as each other
Oh,
anymore.
they definitely will.
They definitely could,
They definitely will be.
but I feel like their circles probably don't. Their rap circles are probably altered now.
Who wins a on wax battle? Because I got Freddie cleaning
Because
video.
Freddie can make a song.
Freddie can make a song. Freddie also got like he said, y'all weren't selling out shows unless y'all were with me.
Yeah,
Benny didn't even sell out his own hometown.
yeah.
I love Benny. Benny's one of my favorite rappers.
Benny can
but
spit though.
when you start talking that type
When you go into the
of
numbers of it, the politics of it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Freddie does
Because
have
now
a
y'all
Grammy
both
nom-
got cop dads and all that.
Yeah.
Y'all both are the same guy now.
Yeah, and Freddie has a Grammy nominated album too,
Yeah.
which just throws it all off.
Yeah.
And actual claim.
Yeah. Shit, speaking of acclaim, Euphoria, it seems to be losing
I want to
a
know.
lot of its cast. Have you seen about this or have you
Yeah.
read about this? Apparently, it seems like Sam Levingston really pissed off his cast with Euphoria because, what's her name? It's not America.
Barbie.
It's Barbie. Barbie Ferreira.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Nate and the gal who plays Maddie, they're all leaving Euphoria next year. And it was slated it was kind of rumored last year that they had
I think it's
problems
only
with
one.
writer and director Sam Levingston because a lot of Cat scenes got cut.
Yeah.
And Cat was a huge part of season 1. And if you watch season 2, she just kind of got used as an accessory character on a really bad throwaway storyline. And that's like one of the big reasons why I hate that second season. But when it comes back to it, they're losing a lot of their star power. They have Sydney Sweeney, but they don't have the.
And I think it's only Kat they lost. Barbie Ferreira. I don't think they had lost anybody else yet.
Yet.
Yeah, I don't think they have any general.
I don't know. I've seen that more people are leaving this cast. And that was even before this announcement came out.
Mm-hmm.
The way Sam Levingston was doing these actors, he just was kind of ignoring them, passing them by the wayside, treating them like shit, just treating them like characters and not people.
Oh no, yeah, actually I've heard there's been a lot of like tension in the back.
Yeah,
stuff
the
like that.
background of the show. I don't think this is going to impact HBO too much.
Well,
I think a lot of people jumped ship last year. I think if they can get a show out of Sydney Sweeney,
I don't know if
they'll be
they
good.
got a lot of Emmy nods for this season too. So if they get those,
They're not going to win. They're not going to win.
I don't know. Show generated a lot of buzz.
Show generates a lot of buzz, but it also killed itself in this season. It'd be kind of like giving the Wire second season an Oscar while it was or Emmy rather, while it was happening. Even if it's amazing, it's not something you think is amazing in that time. And that second season of Euphoria was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't all
Because of the backstage problems. Because the characters, the actors were completely dissatisfied with their positions with Sam Livingston. It was terrible to him.
I can believe it. I can believe it.
You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you cut Kat's storyline down too, because she had a very interesting one.
She had the most interesting one.
Yeah, she did.
You know what I'm saying? She had the most,
she had the most to lose out of that one too.
She had one of those.
Well, no, she didn't.
She had one of those storylines. Like you could have taken her out of high school with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Easily. Like if you wanted to spin off her,
she could have dropped out of high school off of that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They could have done a lot with her.
They could have really pushed the envelope as far as like, you know what I'm saying, culture shock and shit like that with her character.
Yeah.
If you want to put it like that.
Yeah.
That's all up to her too. If she wanted to do that too. If she wanted to be put in that light.
I mean, she did, but it was Sam Livingston.
Yeah.
Speaking of being put in that light, now we got a show that's being totally going to be put under a serious light, completely scrutinized, its entire existence.
And already renewed for season 2.
Repeat that again.
And already renewed for season 2.
House of Dragons, after one episode, has already been renewed for a second season. And tonight is the second episode. We're going to be watching that tonight. Yeah. And all for the first episode, I'll say that having watched the entire Game of Thrones series, it feels just like Game of Thrones in the writing, the feeling, the setting, and all that. It's amazing so far. I really do have a team off of one episode, all that bullshit. My one complaint is, if it's set 172 years before Game of Thrones happens, how in the fuck is there no technological advances in 172 years? House of Dragons looks just like Game of Thrones, and that should not be the thing.
I don't know, man. Think about it. Think of if you just, all right, let's go back to history. Let's go into our 9th grade world history. When is the Bronze Age? When does that shit happen? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a minute between all of those.
170, but the thing is 172 years. It doesn't mean everything changes, but small things change. But we're here to talk about the actual show. Yeah. What do you think about the actual show? Going off the first episode.
First of all, this is what I want to say. I think it was already renewed. It was already renewed for a second season. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is just a hype thing. HBO could have let you know months before the show even came out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They started filming. They started working.
As far as the show goes, like, fuck all the extras. How do you like the show?
I like it. I mean, it's not much to go off. I don't think it's that much to go off. It was good to go back to Westeros, of course. But, I mean, still given I'm watching the original series now. You know what I'm saying?
For the first time?
No, not the first time. Like, third time. But it definitely is dope to see, like, the story come to life. Like, the story that they talked about throughout the whole original series about, you know what I'm saying, the Targaryens and shit like that, which is kind of like the background story.
Yeah.
In Game of Thrones, in and of itself, is the Targaryens rule on Westeros. So now actually seeing it all come to life, very interesting, especially once I start reading the books too, because I do plan on start reading the books.
I think that it's really crazy that off of episode 1, if you watch Game of Thrones, you see off episode 1, they're able to weave their ABC plots like immediately. You understand that this is not about one thing. This is about multiple things off bat. The writing has not dropped off. If anything, they renewed the writing of this realm of characters and this universe. It might be different writers, but they've restored that feeling of that first season of Game of Thrones where you don't know anything. Go ahead.
But it's the thing too. This is the thing, because I feel like people forget about what Game of Thrones was based on. You always say this every time we talk about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones has great source material, and this is going right back to an original source material, which is still a book of the series. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. This is not the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, which is just made up. You know what I'm saying. And this is, and George R. R. Martin is heavily involved with this because the book is still the source material is there. So of course the writing's not going to. If they ever come to a point to where they have to make stuff up, that's when the shit becomes shaky. And that's when people come out like I'm saying, Reddit comes out like, oh, that didn't happen like this. Yeah. And that's why we were talking about the Melisandre thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why people wouldn't want that to happen, like her being there, because it would just like,
it wasn't in the book.
It would just be an offset, even though it could be a quick cameo. it would take the focus off of the actual show for like
Yeah.
5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You know, people's
Yeah, I know what
tennis
you
right now.
mean,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? And that just also goes to show how Game of Thrones is always going to be a good show if it's presented well based
On
off
that
of
whole
the books.
universe,
Yeah.
It's like as long as you have correct writing, correct and well-written shit, meaning it has to follow the lore and it has to be well-written, well-acted, and well-presented. You'll have a good product. That's what you mean, yeah. I can't wait to see more House of Dragons, because these plots are starting to get weaved really well, even through these first 2 episodes. So we only have
Let's
more
see what
to come.
Negro Targaryens. You saw that Negro Targaryen?
What to do with the dreads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your boy Damon. You gonna see what Damon doing this episode?
You gonna go crazy.
With
Damon's gonna be
the
villain.
With the ebony armor.
He's gonna be the villain. That's what I'm
Man,
saying.
you see, I spoiled it.
Skyrim shit.
I spoiled it for myself last week.
Because
I looked at the Targaryen family tree, and I figured out how it's all going to work out.
Okay.
So I'm not going to talk about it on here. Because people actually get mad about spoilers, I found out.
Yeah, man.
I just posted a meme of it last weekend.
I feel you.
Caught some heat on that.
But we are out for this segment of the podcast presented by Simple Math Matrix. It's your boy, Mr. a.k.a. Prince, Simple Raw 357. That's known as Prince Godbody. I'm here with Mr. Fuck Himself Up, Nate. AKA,
it's the God King Hoopla, and I'm out. Be sure to follow us on all our socials at Simple Math Matrix. That's Simple Math Matrix on Twitter, SIMPLEMATRX. MTRX.
That's like, God damn it, bro. Follow us on all fucking social medias at Simple Math Matrix. That's SIMPLEMATHMATRIX, except for Twitter, which is Simple Math MTRX. Spelled out, that's at SIMPLEMATHMTRX. It's your boy, Mr. AKA Super Raw 357, best known as Prince Godbody. Fuck Nate.
And we're out.
Peace. And I am back to finish off this episode of the podcast presented by Simple Math Matrix. And I really don't have much to talk about. I just have a few things that have happened over the last week that I kind of wanted to cover. I guess we'll start out with the most serious thing, and that would be the Vanessa Bryant settlement. If you are unfamiliar with everything going on with that, when Kobe passed, when the helicopter crashed, deputies and cops that were investigating the area took photos of the crash site, which is customary. But the part that's not customary is that they went along to show these photos in public just to random civilians. Apparently, one of the cops was just showing people at a bar, pictures of the bodies and such, and Vanessa Bryant got wind of that and proceeded to sue the Los Angeles Police Department. Well, that has finally reached a verdict, and that verdict is that she won. She did sue for $32 million, but she herself only received 16 because there was also another party suing that late PD for spreading pictures of their loved ones' bodies as well. And this just goes, good for her. We're glad that she won. We knew she would. This was a really disgusting thing for the cops to do. But this is just kind of an example that police brutality and just police, criminality, for real, police being criminals, goes way beyond just shooting and killing people and setting people up. Having the audacity to walk around and showcase the video, or not the video, the pictures of someone's loved one's dead bodies, especially in the condition they were, seeing as the conditions of their death, is just totally remarkable, honestly. And it's just an abuse of power, because there is no way that you're telling me that they would have done this knowing that there would have been any repercussions, or even thinking that there would be any repercussions for something like this. But lo and behold, we see that there are, and it's going to cost them probably their careers, and now the Los Angeles Police Department $32 million. So that's going to be something that they'll be able to financially recover from. But as far as public image wise, the LAPD was already kind of not favorable in the public eye, and now it's really only worse for them, mainly due to all of this. And like I said, this is all justice. This is true justice for the people who are supposed to be, carrying out and enacting true justice. So fuck the police on that statement. Staying in the lane of basketball, number 2 pick for the Oklahoma City Thunder will not be playing this season. And what is kind of been the talk of the offseason now, Chet Holgrom, while trying to defend LeBron in a Pro-Am game, it wasn't even necessarily LeBron, it was just a body thing. He tore or injured some ligaments in his foot, so now he'll be out for the season. And we saw a lot of people on social media saying it's because he's thin, he should be doing more, weightlifting, blah, 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 this, then the third. But honestly, when you're that tall, it's one of those things that's bound to happen. It's kind of feet problems are really persistent, especially in thin big men. Look how much it shortened Yao Ming's career, but hopefully for Chet Holgrom, he'll be able to sit out this season and come back next season and really have an impactful rookie season. It just really sucks that the only time we got to see him as a professional was at a professional amateur game during the summer before the season. He hadn't even gotten to step into the summer league, and it's not like the game he was playing in wasn't sanctioned in his contract. So really there's nobody to blame for letting him play, for him playing. This is all just kind of a accident, a freak accident. And you can't shit on pro-ams for this happening. These guys go out there knowing that even if they do play at 10%, that these injuries can happen because they are still playing when they're playing other NBA players, playing the best of the guys in the world. And even the other guys who aren't the NBA players out there, these are 9 to 5 guys with a chance to play NBA players. So they're going to play harder than they've ever played before. So you are still going to, run the risk of injury just like you would a normal basketball game. So the only solution for this really is I think teams will start writing in that rookies are not allowed to play in Pro-Am just because this would be a huge financial hit. Seeing as the Thunder have already tried to file for like the injured man exception to get some money back to fill the roster, this will just be one of those things that'll kind of set a precedent in my mind that honestly I'm not sure if it might be necessary. It's kind of like how football players have clauses in their contract where they can't ride motorcycles, or they won't be insured if they're a motorcycle rider, or blah blah blah, this, that, and the third. So it'll just be one of those things they just build into the contracts to make sure that nothing like this ever happens again. And honestly, with them being multi-million-dollar corporations, billion-dollar corporations, can you really blame them for putting that type of insurance on their employees? I don't think so. Rounding off sports talk, it's seeming like Tiger Woods is moving on to the second stage of his golf career. It seems like Rory McIlRoy and Tiger Woods will be funding a new golf league. It's like technical golf league. What it's essentially going to do is create another competition to live, the LIV Golf League, but also it gives PGA kind of like a branch into new age sports. They're going to integrate technology. I'm not sure how they're going to do that yet, but it's going to be kind of like technologically integrated, I'm guessing, augmented reality team-based golf, and it's going to be funded by, like I said, Rory McIlRoy and Tiger Woods. But with them funding this as being the two biggest names in golf the last 10 to 20 years, this is a chance for them to try and maybe bring golf into that lane where racing's kind of getting, where they're drawing a younger audience and kind of making it seem more hip, so to speak, especially now since they have the LIV League. over there, overseas, they have a true competition, PGA does. So by creating competition within their own company, it helps them gain like 2 out of the 3 uh, places that professional golf leagues have, I guess, as far as podium stance goes. But I'm not sure how successful this is going to be. I just don't see that many young people getting into golf, even if it is for Tiger Woods. They're trying to, bring Tiger Woods back into the limelight. They're putting him back on the cover of the video games. He's a billionaire again. He's in the news, not the news, but sports news pretty frequently now. His son is coming up as an up and rising golfer. So I think they're trying to capitalize off of Tiger Woods' image and portray him as the Jordan of golf that he is. I'm just not sure how well that's really going to translate to kids who really just don't seemingly care about golf and never have. It's kind of like NASCAR. Like they're trying to do the same thing, but it's not. It's working, but I don't think it's working enough to really justify all the stops they're pulling, and at sometimes even alienating their original fan bases. But I guess all there is to do is really see about that, because shit, fucking crazier things have happened, especially with sports. Nobody would have ever thought that there'd be multiple competing American wrestling leagues or federations now, and there is. So take that for what it is. Lastly, before I get out of here this week, I guess we'll talk about Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon is officially having his 10th kid, his 3rd one with this woman, and it's seemingly not stopping. Every 3 months, 3 or 4 months, Nick Cannon is announcing that he's having another child. It almost seems like this point in 2022 he'll have 10 alone. I mean, I can't blame the man. He's rich. The women are willing. So there's no problems as far as that. I got to say, damn, I feel bad for those kids in about 10 years when they have no connection with their father, because none of them are centralized. They're all over America. And he, being who he is an incredibly busy man. And I wouldn't think he has time for a family with just one child. So to have 8 families with 10 children has to be a fucking monumental task, honestly. Like, I couldn't even imagine that. And it's not even the financial part, because like I said, Nick Cannon has the money for this. He could probably afford all the kids he wants. It just goes down to, like, the real people that are going to suffer here are the children. But shit, I'm not complaining. We don't complain that Elon Musk has a shit ton of children. We don't complain that the royal family is just a bunch of all inbred children. But, when it's a black man, it's a problem, I guess. I guess it's mainly a problem, and people rant about it and have so much discourse about it because he's so public with it and open with it and willing to share and talk about it, because having children is not taboo. I wouldn't even say having a lot of children is taboo. I think it's the establishment of all of these families that's taboo or quote unquote unacceptable, and his openness and willingness to talk about it is kind of shocking for people. So I guess people aren't mad. It's just kind of a joke. It's more of an uncomfortable joke, seemingly, to most people, that Nick Cannon is just out here having a baby every 3 months. But hey, it's none of my business. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead, sign off. All I got to say is y'all keep checking out Simple Math. We'll be here every week on Wednesday, coming with new episodes. We'll be coming with at least 1 interview per month. We're going to start recording more Boondock series recaps, because we're out of the pre-recorded ones. Look out for more permanent records. It's your boy Mr. aka Super 357, best known as Prince Godbody, and I am out.